South African wines often tread the line between the old and the new, balancing time-honed traditions with new ideals and approaches to wine. And Zonnebloem is a fantastic example of this. The farm itself dates back to the 17th century and is soaked in the essence of Stellenbosch. It's a beloved and pivoted brand in the market. It also allows wine novices not so familiar with wines to be able to enjoy, but it's also for serious connoisseurs. Our wines are sourced from different regions in Stellenbosch, different growing temperatures, different altitudes, and that gives us complexity in our grapes. Even if we are doing Cabernet Sauvignon, it's sourced from 4 different locations, and that gives us a more complex and integrated wine. Zonnebloem encapsulates time-home traditions, classic craftsmanships, but also employs new ideals to winemaking techniques, and that makes it such an approachable and well-loved brand even till today. So here we have the Zonnebloem Cabernet Sauvignon 2015, which was an excellent vintage. Cabernet is usually known as the king of grapes, and in Stellenbosch it's an excellent growing location. Cabernet likes heat, and Stellenbosch is really hot, and that allows us to concentrate the flavors of the Cabernet grape into the wines that we produce. This wine was harvested at 25 Balling in March, and it was fermented on the skins. After fermentation, it was transferred to French oak barrels, 300 liters, where it undergone malolactic fermentation. So if you're unfamiliar with malolactic fermentation, what it does is you add bacteria to the wine, and it actually transforms the malic acid, which is like the Granny Smith acid. It's harsh and acidic, and the bacteria actually transforms it into lactic acid, which is the acid you find in milk, which makes the wine smoother and more approachable and more ready to drink. This wine, we cellar it, we keep it in barrel for at least 12 to 24 months. It's a mixture of French and Hungarian oak. And then we also put some of the wine into tank on wood alternatives, just to get a bit more complexity. Cabernet is known to being a big wine, but I think with cellaring it and keeping it in oak and not using too much first filled French oak gives the wine a nice complexity and smoothness to it. So often people ask, what do I drink this wine with? But this Cabernet, it's actually really good on its own. A lot of the times you think you have to drink Cab with a meal, but this Cab is actually mellowed out and smooth that you can have it on its own. But if I had to pair it with a meat, I'd go with a really good ribeye steak.
Thank you for the insight. We specially selected this wine from the Vinatec Wine Bank, our dedicated maturation cellar in Stellenbosch, where all our wines are matured under optimal conditions.